Comic Boom.
Hey guys, Comic Boom here to review Flash issue 75. Well, straight up, I'm astonished that there are people out there that love this issue. I am. I don't get it. I don't get it. The art is serviceable. Not great, it's serviceable. The colors are vibrant and great. Bright red, bright yellow, bright green for the turtle. There's even a new character called Steadfast, which is in here. Interesting new character, maybe. But man, is this story, this is my pet peeve of when it comes to these types of storytelling. I repeat my criticisms, but let me try to give some compliments to Joshua Williamson first, in terms of how this has been written. Sorry, I was just kidding. I can't think of anything, and I'm serious. I can't. This just doesn't make any sense. This is something that this entire series, this entire year one, was about this idea of apparently creating a time loop. That there was this time paradox created where future Barry Allen is, surprise, surprise, it's revealed that he's a loser, and he's got no confidence, and he's got really no willpower. He's got no confidence. He's not particularly bright. But apparently, younger Barry, who naturally would have to be more stupid, isn't stupid, and younger Barry is able to figure stuff out even ahead of his future self. So even though his future self is an idiot, apparently younger self isn't. So that's a storytelling glitch right there. The other thing here is, remember last issue, this nonsensical plot point, which I said where apparently the turtle, that we have 52 Earths in the multiverse. The turtle's plan apparently was that on one of the Earths, Earth's Prime, where this story is taking place, the turtle is manipulating the still force and creating a tether between the present timeline of the Flash and a timeline about 30 years in the future. And in that small timeline, the turtle has created a tether through the still force, through time, between his younger self and his older self, and that apparently this tension would destroy the multiverse. Okay. Didn't buy it. Never felt the gravitas of that particular situation. But even if I grant you that, so how does Flash defeat the turtle if this is what's happening here? Because bear in mind, I mean, younger turtle and future turtle, they're conspiring to do this. So how is young Barry supposed to defeat this? Because future Barry Allen has been captured by the older turtle. So the future turtle has captured future Barry, has taken future Barry into the past and to flaunt in front of younger Barry. Now, how is younger Barry supposed to defeat the turtle? Now, everything that young Barry knows on how on battling the turtle is that the turtle has the still force and he's always slowing down. So how does Barry defeat the turtle and overcome this time paradox that is going to somehow destroy the multiverse? Honestly, I got to read this to you straight because I can't explain it off the top of my head. But if I try to explain it off the top of my head, I would tell you this. Apparently, young Barry, after getting laid by Iris West, developed hope. So apparently sex engenders hope. So he has sex with Iris, because that's the only thing that I can see. Because all he does is run. All Barry does, young Barry does, is run really, 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 really fast. That's all he's ever done. That's all he's ever done, is run fast. And what does he do in this issue? He just runs fast. How does he defeat the turtle? Well, he just runs fast. That's after he's getting laid by Iris West. That's the only thing different. That's the only thing he did different, was that he ran fast. That's it. And he developed hope. Apparently getting laid by Iris inspires hope. I guess I can buy that, you know. I guess he got laid, he developed hope, the hope made him run faster, and apparently by running faster, he was able to defeat the turtle. That's it. That's his big plot point. Now, I'm dead serious when I say exactly what I just said. That's the only plot point, because I'm reading. There's literally nothing that he did. There's a page here that says hope. All right? So listen to this explanation as to what Barry does. Barry begins to run really, really, really fast after he's inspired with hope. He's got no game plan. He's just running in half-cocked because he wants to run really, really fast, and he's got a nice new suit on. Whoop-de-doo. Okay, now listen to this logic. See if you can follow this along. This is what he says. So first of all, he's absolutely terrified. He's filled with hope, but he's also terrified at the same time. He can't pick one. So he's feeling fearful and he's feeling hopeful. And so he develops a sudden burst of speed, and he breaks the turtle's shell, disconnecting it from the future. So suddenly he develops a burst of speed. Doesn't explain how. He just says that suddenly, it says his gamble paid off and that his speed counteracted his powers, the turtle's powers, once they were connected, just like the first time they fought. Well, how do they know so how does he connect to the still force? Don't really know. He just suddenly knows how to connect to the still force, having never done it before. And suddenly his powers, the speed force, disconnects the still force. So he connects to the still force, and that apparently, just by doing that, that disconnects the connection between the present day turtle and the turtle shell, disconnecting the present from the future. All right. He then goes on to say, my sudden burst of speed breaks the turtle shell, disconnecting it from the future, but the turtle still has his powers. When I first got my speed, I was so scared that I would shake, and I've never been more afraid than I am right now. So I used that fear. I embraced those shakes until they turned into vibrations and hit frequencies no one has experienced, and I dart between molecules. The lightning exploded through my window, granting me this speed. And now I can feel this lightning burst from my body as I use this gift to connect with every living thing. Now, I want you to think about this. The Flash is claiming that in year one, he connected to every single living thing on the planet Earth. Every living thing. His lightning connected with every living thing. The future Flash spoke of a multiverse. I still don't know what to make of that, but I can feel something as I blast past insane images. So he's running that fast that he connects us to every living thing. Now, he says, it shows me that I'm part of something bigger than myself. I'm assuming he means the multiverse. Something that started before me and will outlive me. Now that my lightning is everywhere, I no longer fear the future. In fact, I think I can speed up all of time and space just a few seconds and take everyone to the future with me, except the turtle, trapping the turtle's powers in the past. And skip the time paradox the future Flash feared before it can happen. Now, that makes no sense at all. I want to connect to this for a second. I want to, let's not connect to the Speed Force. Let's connect with some common sense for a second. Now, I know it's comic book science, but guys, we have to back the train up here and look at the logic here. This writing is, I'm sorry, but this is nonsense. This is absolute nonsense. How? Like, when he actually says this, when he says that, I think I can speed up all of time and space just a few seconds. He takes everyone in the future with him. So, we're to believe that the Flash, in year one, connects to every living being on the planet and moves them all into the future just a few seconds. Just stop and think for this. Think for just Williamson, for God's sakes, just take a little bit of time and think about this. If you're going to remove everyone from the present, even if you move them a few seconds into the future, then they're going to see their future selves, which creates a whole new mess, worse than the one you've already created. So you're going to move everyone now a few seconds into the future and then leave the turtle here so that the turtle's powers are going to go on? Why would the turtles, first of all, moving everyone 5 seconds into the future ain't going to do nothing. That isn't going to, how would that disconnect the turtle's powers? He still has his powers. The turtle doesn't need anybody to still have connection to the still force. Why would that disconnect the shell? And how would that, in any way, shape, or form, break the time paradox? By moving everyone a few seconds into the future. If you're moving anyone a few seconds into the future, how does that sever the time paradox? The turtle's still around, and then nonsensically, apparently the turtle just crashes and the future turtle disappears. Why would the future turtle disappear? Why? And it's not going to, and the present day turtle doesn't disappear, and the present day turtle still has his powers. So why doesn't the present day turtle still use his powers? Because he doesn't lose his powers. He doesn't lose his connection to the still force. He always has his connection to the still force, just like Barry always has his connection to the Speed Force. So this doesn't make any sense. I have to tell you, this is unquestionably one of the worst plotted Flash stories I have ever read in my lifetime of reading Flash comics, and I've read some doozies. This is awful. I can't recommend this. This is nonsense. This is absolute nonsense. Even from a comic book science point of view, this doesn't make any sense. And I gotta give a high criticism to the art here. There is no indication when he talks about moving everyone from the future, everyone here, a few seconds into the future, the art doesn't convey that at all. I'm sorry, but this is a terrible job by the artist rendering what the story is trying to convey. There's no relationship between what is being stated in the story and what should be drawn. I gotta give this a 1 out of 10 in terms of when you're communicating the story that you're trying to tell, the artist should in some way try to convey that. Now, I suppose in defense of the artist, Howard Porter, how do you draw something so stupid like that, right? It's another reason why Final Crisis was such a terrible series, is that artistically the story that was being told could not adequately be conveyed by any artist, because it's not possible to adequately illustrate insanity and nonsense. This is insanity and this is nonsense. This story fails epically. It gets worse. At the end of the story, we get a new character called Steadfast, and now we get this revelation that apparently, suddenly, this awful story apparently now is in continuity, God help us. And this story now, there's this new character where Barry, suddenly he wakes up and he remembers the year one, and he never remembered year one before. And apparently this new character called Steadfast, such a brilliant name, isn't it? I mean, we still don't get an adequate explanation of what the still force is, other than it's just like a really slow force. That apparently it's so slow that, it's so slow that it can affect time, but if it's so slow, it shouldn't affect time because it's, by definition, slow. But in any event, it's kind of a mind bender there. This is Steadfast. So, Williamson, we have the turtle, because the turtle's slow. Get it? What a clever name, turtle, huh? Now we've got somebody a little bit faster than the turtle, called Steadfast. See what Williamson did there? Steadfast. It's the word steadfast, but it has the word fast in the name, right? See? Isn't that clever? Wow. How's the character now, Steadfast? It's the new avatar of the Still Force. Oh, great. We have a new avatar of the Still Force. That same force that we still don't know what the hell it's supposed to do exactly. That same Still Force that apparently can create a tether between two different timelines and destroy the multiverse. And we've never been explained how. Absolutely crazy. But apparently the Steadfast warns Barry, says, until the force barrier broke, I was cursed with the Still Force and the knowledge of time that comes with it. Question, how do you get knowledge of time when you're an avatar of the Still Force? Because if you're an avatar of the Still Force, by definition, aren't you kind of slow? You're not moving, are you? I mean, if you're the avatar of the Still Force, doesn't it take you an awful long time even to go to the bathroom? You're the avatar of the Still Force. How does that give you any knowledge of time? You don't move very fast. You're still. That's why they call it the Still Force, right? And if I'm wrong about that, I challenge Joshua Williamson to explain what it is and not contradict what he says in a previous issue, because he always contradicts himself from issue to issue what the heck the Still Force is. How is it related to the other forces? None of this is explained. Now, in Williamson's defense, Scott Snyder has also utterly failed to properly describe what the Still Force is. And so has James Tynion IV. So has every writer in the DC universe. They need to have a serious summit meeting and get their facts straight and maybe have a little bit better understanding of the relationship between the Speed Force and the Still Force. And we know where the Speed Force is in the multiversal map. We see the Speed Force permeating through different realms and dimensions through the various 52 Earths. Where's the Still Force? This has not been adequately explained, and it should be. And unfortunately, remember, Williamson was taken off Justice League Odyssey for a reason, because Justice League Odyssey was a mess. And instead of being canceled, they had to give it to a new writer to properly get that issue on track. Williamson is not very good at handling high concepts. He's not very good at staying consistent in explaining them. And nowhere is this a more apparent example than in this series. This is a must miss. A must miss. Don't bother with this. Now, the other thing here is Lex Luthor makes Steadfast is boring as heck. There's really nothing else you really need to know here. I will say this, that there is we get the rogues. An offer is made to Captain Cold, who's he was a member of the Suicide Squad. Ultimately ends up being made an offer by Lex. Again, nothing really surprising there. A little bit cliche. Nothing. Again, no pushing envelopes. Very derivative issue overall. Very disappointing. And I encourage you guys to tell me what you think. I might be an outlier on this. I am absolutely stunned at the number of people that seem to really like this issue. I'm stunned. I guess, hey, the moral of this story, I can sum this up, is Barry gets laid as a result of having an orgasm. He gets a lot of hope. He runs real fast, and that's how he defeats the turtle. That's it in a nutshell. And then he meets up with a person called the steadfast. Steadfast. Anyway, it just rolls off the tongue. The new avatar of the Still Force that we still don't know really what it is, but who isn't really that slow anymore. But anyways, the poor turtle, what kind of... Never mind. I'm done. Tell me what you think of the Flash 75. Hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter at Metropolis40. Until next time, Comic Boom out.